So we are continuing to read from Sri Isopanishad. We started with the mantra 2 and we read the first paragraph, I think, of it. So just to read the translation again, one may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. So working in which way? Working in which way? Understanding that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. And so I need to take only what is set aside as my quota, being grateful to the Supreme Lord and also offering what is given to me to the Supreme Lord. And then accepting whatever and accepting it as the Lord's prasad. So I think we did, yeah. So then the instructions of Sri Isopanishad are more elaborately explained in the Bhagavad Gita, sometimes called the Gitopanishad, the cream of all the Upanishads. So Sri Isopanishad is giving us the foundation and the details are given more in Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita 3, chapter 3, text 9 to 16, the personality of Godhead says that one cannot attain the state of neshkarmya or akarma without executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. This literature can regulate the working energy of a human being in such a way that he can gradually realize the authority of the Supreme Being. So Bhagavad Gita is also called the Gitopanishad. Bhagavad Gita is called Gitopanishad. Means what? The cream of all the Upanishads. There are so many Upanishads. 108. Yeah. There are 108 Upanishads. And what's the cream? Bhagavad Gita. So the essence of all the Upanishads, Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita. And in this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 9 to 13, what does Krishna say? The personality of Godhead says. Personality of Godhead means no one is greater than him. And he's a person. Personality. That's the reason he's called personality of Godhead. He's a person. And he says, what does he speak? He's a person. That's why he can speak, right? If he's not a person, how can he speak? So he says what? That one cannot attain the state of neshkarmya or akarma without executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. So what is akarma? What is akarma? We heard that when we connect our activities in the service of the Supreme Lord, when we understand everything is given to me by the Supreme Lord, so let me engage it in his service. That is akarma. Then that will not give us reactions. We do not need to take birth again to enjoy or suffer the result of that activity, because every activity is giving us a fruit. That's why it's called fruitive activity. But if we do the activities in relation to Krishna, then those activities do not give us material fruits, but spiritual. That is giving us spiritual life. So what happens? So Krishna is teaching us, because we all have energy. We all are going to do something. We can't just sit doing nothing. We can't sit doing nothing. So what is he teaching us? That work in such a way so that we can realize the authority of the Supreme Being. When he realizes the authority of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva or Krishna, it is to be understood that he has attained the stage of positive knowledge. So we have been acting, we are thinking, I'm independent, there is no God, everything that I see belongs to me. Who is God? I am God. Why should I listen to everyone? Why should I offer my result to anyone? I worked hard for it. I worked so hard for it. Why should I share it with anyone? Why should I give credit to anyone? All this belongs to me. But if we can understand that everything we are getting is given to us by the Supreme Lord, and that Supreme Lord is Vasudeva or Krishna, then that is real knowledge. That is real knowledge. In this purified stage, the modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, cannot act. And he is able to work on the basis of neshkarmya. Such work does not bind one to the cycle of birth and death. So activity, any activity which is not in relation to Krishna, which we don't connect to Krishna, is going to bring us back to this material world, is binding us to this material world. We will have to take another life, whether we want to accept this fact or no. That choice is on us. But if we want to put an end to this birth and death, the only way is we need to connect our activities to Krishna, because those activities help us to get away from, to give up our attachment to the material world and get more attached to Krishna. So whatever is our desire, right? If we are so attached to this material world, then Krishna will say, okay, you have so much desire to be in this material world. Okay, so you be in this material world. But if our desire is, Krishna, I want to be with you. And where's Krishna? He's there in Golok Vrindavan. So then he'll bring us there. So it all depends on our desire. We can't blame Krishna, or we can't blame anyone else for where we are. Just depends on our desire. And how to purify the desire? Hear and chant. Hearing and chanting. Factually, no one has to do anything more than render devotional service to the Lord. However, in the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service, nor can one completely stop fruitive work. A conditioned soul is accustomed to working for sense gratification for his own selfish interest, immediate or extended. So actually, factually, it's an amazing word choice, factually, it's a fact that no one has to do anything more than render devotional service to the Lord. That we don't have to do anything more than hearing, chanting, worshipping the deity, reading Bhagavatam, association with the devotees. We don't have to do more than that. We don't have anything more than hearing and chanting, actually. That is bhakti, hearing and chanting. Bhakti begins by hearing and chanting. So we don't have to do anything more than that, factually. But we are not able to do that the whole day. We can do it for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. But what about the rest of the day? We have 24 hours. So we cannot immediately stop all our activities. We cannot, because we have certain responsibilities. And even if we don't have those responsibilities, we are used to working in a certain way. So we can't immediately stop. We are used to working that I will do this, I will be happy. Or I will do this, my family will be happy. So then, what to do? An ordinary man works for his own sense enjoyment, and when this principle of sense enjoyment is extended to include his society, nation, or humanity in general, it assumes various attractive names such as altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, and humanitarianism. These isms are certainly very attractive forms of karma bandhana, karmic bondage. But the Vedic instruction of Sri Isopanishad is that if one actually wants to live for any of the above isms, he should make them God-centered. There is no harm in becoming a family man or an altruist, a socialist, a communist, a nationalist, or a humanitarian, provided that one executes his activities in relation with Ishavasya, the God-centered conception. So we are working for ourselves, for our family, our society, our community, our nation, whatever. We don't have to stop that. We are thinking we are doing very good, but these are all going to keep us here in the material world. So then what do I have to do? I have to stop working. How will I maintain the body? How will I eat? Who's going to maintain me? What will happen to my children? What's going to happen to my parents, my family, my society? So what is Sri Isopanishad saying? You don't have to give up anything. You continue doing whatever you are doing. Whatever position you are in, you do. You continue doing it. But you do the activities in relationship with Ishavasya, that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, and thus everything needs to be engaged in his service. That is the way of living and not being attached. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Lord Krishna states that God-centered activities are so valuable that just a few of them can save a person from the greatest danger. The greatest danger of life is the danger of gliding again into the evolutionary cycle of birth and death among the 8,400,000 species. That is the danger, because death can come at any moment for any of us. And what happens after we give up this body? We again are in this cycle of birth and death of 8,400,000 species, the cycle of evolution, sometimes as bird, animal, tree, fish, so many different life forms are there, and out of which human forms are so less. So if somehow or other a man misses the spiritual opportunity afforded by his human form of life and falls down again into the evolutionary cycle, he must be considered most unfortunate. So it's with great difficulty we have gotten this human life. Very great. It's not very easy to get this human life. That's why it's called durlabha, very difficult. And it's only in this human life that can we actually make a permanent solution to birth and death. No more birth, no more death, no more old age, no more disease. And if we don't do that, then we are considered unfortunate. Unfortunate. And that's the reason Krishna is saying that do the activities by keeping him in center. He's God, he's the Supreme Lord. And it's only by doing that that we can get out of this material world. And what is he saying? Just hear and chant. He's not telling us to make millions of dollars or to cook feast for thousands of people or to, do some very difficult things. No, he's just saying what? Hear and chant. That's all. Be wherever we are. We do not even have to go to the Himalayas, the mountains, give up everything. No, nothing. Just hearing and chanting, sitting in our homes. So due to his defective senses, a foolish man cannot see that this is happening. Now, we are not able to see that we are going from one body to another. Consequently, Sri Isopanishad advises us to exert our energy in the spirit of Ishavasya. So what is the Ishavasya principle? That everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. It's not mine. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, a long life in itself has no value. A tree lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living a long time like trees, or breathing like bellows, or begetting children like hogs and dogs, or eating like camels. A humble, God-centered life is more valuable than a colossal hoax of a life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism. So what we have to do, we just have to give up pretending that I'm the owner, I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer. We just have to understand that, yes, it's the Supreme Lord, not me. It's not me who is creating everything. It's not me who is maintaining everything. It's not me who is, and how do I enjoy? I want to enjoy. Each of us wants to enjoy. And the only way I can enjoy is when I'm connected to the Supreme Lord. That's the only way that I can enjoy. When I dedicate my activities to him, when I connect my activities to him. So the activities are the same. We do not have to give up taking care of our families or parents or our professions or anything. We don't have to give up anything. What we have to do, just add Krishna. Just understand it's coming to me by Krishna's grace. So let me dedicate my activities to him. Let me take care of my family in the best way so that Krishna will be pleased. How can I and in that way, we will be able to take care of our family in a better way. How can I please Krishna? That's the point. When altruistic activities are executed in the spirit of Sri Isopanishad, they become a form of karma yoga. That is karma yoga. We continue doing our activities, understanding that God is the center. Such activities are recommended in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, from text 5 to 9, for they guarantee the executor protection from the danger of sliding down into the evolutionary process of birth and death. Guarantee. So again, Krishna and Bhagavad Gita is guaranteeing you work, keep me in the center. Krishna is giving the guarantee. No more birth and death. So we should take up Krishna on his word, Hey, Krishna, you told me if I'm going to do everything, keeping you in the center, no more birth and death. We can test him. Even though such God-centered activities may be half finished, they are still good for the executor because they will guarantee him of human form in his next birth. In this way, one can have another chance to improve his position on the path of liberation. So even if one is not able to finish in this life, bhakti is like that. If one is not completely situated in the relationship with Krishna, doesn't matter. We do not have to begin from the very beginning again. No, in the next life, we begin from the point we have finished. In the material world, what happens? I get a good degree here. I study PhD. But after I die, when I take another body, if I'm in the body of a human being, again, I have to learn from ABC. Again, I have to do high school and then the college, everything. Again, so whatever I did on the material way is wasted. But whatever I do in bhakti, never wasted, never wasted. And then in the next life, at least the guarantee is there that, okay, again, a human being, no need again, will not become a tree or an animal or something. And in the next life, at least a human being, again, given a chance to perfect our relationship with Krishna and get out of this material world. How one can execute God-centered activities is elaborately explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Goswami. We have rendered this book into English as the Nectar of Devotion. We recommend this valuable book to all who are interested in performing the activities in the spirit of Sri Isopanishad. So Sri Isopanishad is telling us, live a God-centered life. Live a God-centered life. And how to live a God-centered life, that Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned in the Bhakti Shastra called Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, and which Srila Prabhupada translated in English as Nectar of Devotion. And so we should read this book, Nectar of Devotion, and follow what is mentioned, because that is the way of living God-centered life. And what does Srila Rupa Goswami say? Srila Rupa Goswami gives us 5 important things: hearing, chanting. He's saying, chant the holy name, associate with the devotees, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, always live in Mathura. If physically cannot live in Mathura, desire to live in Mathura. Mathura includes Brajdam, Vrindavan, and worship the pure devotees. Did we say chant the holy name? Yeah, chanting the holy name is the most important. And then worshipping devotees like the pure devotees like Tulsi Maharani. So this is way. Worship the deity, worshipping the deity. How do we worship the deity? Offer the deity, offer Krishna a simple flower, some water, some Tulsi leaf. Offer our food to Krishna. That is deity worship. Offer some incense. That is deity worship. So how do we start? Hearing and chanting. Just hear and chant. Hear from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Get out of this material world. Are there any questions or comments? If not, then
so for this part,
yes,
like we are doing the third one, right?
We just finished this.
Yeah, we finished the second one.
Yeah.
What we were talking about yesterday.
Yes.
Okay.
In the second one is said that if we just live a God-centered life, in that way, we don't get karma. And in that way, we can get liberation from this material world. And then, and what it means, God-centered life, then dedicate all activities to Krishna.
Okay.
So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Isopanishad ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.